Hey, all you cool cats and crazy kittens. I hope you're doing good out there tonight. This is the Gay Frog Chat. And it's going to be the gayest gay frog chat in the history of gay frogs. Hi. Hi. Huh. Huh. I don't know what to say. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Romans and Patriots, lend me your ears and strap on your tinfoil hats because it is time for the Gay Frog Chat. Gay Frog Chat is a weekly panel discussion where we go chin deep into a different conspiracy. This week I was more concerned about moving and blizzards and working and chat last night and crazy stuff. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really have much planned for tonight. So I hope everybody out there is doing well, though. Oh, shit. Derpy's naked. This might not be, like I said, the gayest gay frog chat ever. But we're joined by the future Ohio governor. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can barely hear you. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn you up a little bit. Sorry, bear with me. All right, try it now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay, cool. And how's it going, Derpy? Derpy? Earth to Derpy? Houston, Derpy has a problem? All right, fine, whatever. Derpy will be back eventually. I don't know if I hope that or not. Matt said he'd be joining in a little bit later, but he had to watch Walking Dead with his wife, which I don't know, man. Does anyone still watch Walking Dead? Seriously?
I do. And it's actually not bad. I don't like the episodes they're doing now because they're all like bottle episodes.
Hi, Derpy. Does your microphone not work? Your microphone doesn't work. You don't have a microphone. Then what's the point then? All right. Jesus fucking Christ. What is this show? What are we doing here? Like, what is life? Do I even exist? Is existence real? Are we living in the Matrix? I feel like this is the Matrix.
I don't know. Things have gotten really weird since 2012, so.
I think it started before then. It was like, I don't know.
Well, I was actually talking to one of the guys I've been courting for lieutenant governor here, and he said apparently in 2012 we basically shifted from one, I believe it was solar thing or whatever, to like the next one, and that's when everything kind of went crazy.
I mean, you got to go back for me. Life has not been normal since like Columbine, really. Because like high school was normal and shit was normal, and then Columbine happened, and then like it was like you can't pick on kids anymore. You can't call kids names. You can't make them push a penny down the hallway with their nose, or like give them a swirly, or any of the shit that was done to us when we were freshmen. Like, at least me, because I'm old enough to remember that shit. But then again, like, it happened to my friends more than it did to me, because I had an older brother and I was a big freshman. So most of the people who didn't know me thought that I wasn't a freshman, and most of the people who did know me thought I was cooler than my brother. So they would like hang out with
Can
me.
you hear me?
Hey, there's a Derpy.
Hey, I now have pink eyebrows and pink hair. And I need to like fix this shit though. Like,
Jesus, dude.
yeah, I now have pink hair and pink, like, yeah. So that's fun.
Yeah, you're really loud too. I'm turning you down a little bit.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I am kind of loud. Any which way.
So out there in the chat, if you guys have anything that you want to get covered or have us talk about or comment on, give me an @eHonda and I'll try to get to all of those. And as always, super chats are not necessary, but welcome, and I appreciate those in advance. And yeah, we got one from Lead on Steel saying, I don't understand why Never Enough Ammo get the AMC streaming service. They dropped the new Walking Dead episode on Thursday, and that's why he's watching tonight. He's watching tonight. I mean, that would make sense, and then he could come to the gay frog chat things and watch that shit on Thursday when no one cares about what's going on.
God damn, that shit didn't even work. Whatever, I'll deal with it.
Dwayne Christensen says, your minions deserted you. Well, let's go through the minions. Angry is in a different state right now. He's traveling. Night Strike sometimes shows up, sometimes doesn't. Never Enough Ammo is busy watching TV, as we discussed. Ray Ray, I haven't heard from Ray Ray. I don't know what Ray Ray is.
I haven't either. She's been up and down. I just do not know. A nice cup. Ugh. Oh wait, these are low rise. Holy shit, that's gonna be bad. Ish. Oh god, but they feel so good.
Yeah, but we got like a crazy blizzard going on in Denver right now.
Damn.
Colorado National Guard is sending out fucking like track tanks to plow shit and get people out and stuff like that.
Oh, that's bad. I bought a purse, and you know what's cool? You know what's cool? The Molly for one of my holsters fits perfectly in here. So now, when I'm not carrying it, it's in there. Ah!
I'll be honest, Derpy. If I was walking by you on the street and I didn't know you, and I had to give odds as to whether or not you were carrying a gun, I would say you're probably not.
I know, right? You know what's funny is I did a TikTok bringing up Columbine, going all because of two dumbasses that weren't even in the goth scene.
Captain Bastardpar says the only thing you know for sure is that your consciousness exists. I think we can know more than that for sure, though, because we can, like, unless you're an existentialist, unless you're like one of those neo-wave existentialists, Jesus Christ, dude, fucking Derpy, you make it impossible to have an actual serious conversation on any level whatsoever. You're completely disruptive, and the things that you do on camera are unacceptable on my channel. I'm sorry, dude. Please stop. Please. I said that as nicely as I could. Derpy should just have a purse full of guns.
I mean, they make guns for purses for guns anyway.
Yeah, they totally do, and that's what you have there, and that's actually pretty cool. Captain Bastard Bar says, I got picked on till I beat a locker in with a guy's face. See, and that's the other thing, dude. Like, you, by not allowing kids in high schools to have conflicts, you're making them not able to have conflict when the stakes are low, right? Like, when the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to shove a kid's face into a locker. And, like, later on in life, when they're stuck in traffic and they can't actually deal with what's happening in front of them, and, you know, then it escalates and someone gets shot or some crazy shit happens, or, you know, you hit someone with your car because you don't know how to deal with it.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's actually one of the platforms we're running under for Ohio governor next year. It's less violence equals, like, overall a better society. As if, like, instead of, like, people getting into, like, gangland shootings, we just have a place where they can just beat the shit out of each other and resolve conflicts there.
I like this. Dick goes and he says, your consciousness could be a figment of your imagination. And then Carcane says, or worse, a figment of someone else's imagination. What if we are merely a figment of God's imagination about himself, trying to understand consciousness?
Are you saying that we're in The Sims? Question mark. Because I would agree with you on that one.
What was the philosopher who was like, it's turtles all the way down is the saying, right? Because the model of the world that they had was held up by a turtle. And they were like, well, what holds the turtle up? And they're like, well, an even bigger turtle. I'm like, well, what holds that turtle
weird.
up? An even bigger, this turtle's all the way down.
It's true. It's true. Sounds interesting. Interesting theory.
I mean,
or we're just in a marble on a cat's neck.
I think the point is that no one really understands because we don't really know what existence is even, you know. But I think that there's things that we can know through repeated interactions with objects and things like that, and over millions of people doing the same thing and over hundreds of years of existence and recording it. Like, you can know things and how they react. It doesn't mean that you know what it is. It doesn't mean that you know what existence is, but at least you know, like, part of it. You know how something works within this existence. You know, that's something. It's useful. It's worth knowing. And I think that's where the existentialists get it wrong, is because they throw that shit out because you don't know everything about everything, you know, because it's unknowable. So they start with that, like, impossible presupposition of what you should know about something before you can say you know anything about it. And that's how they break society down. You know, you start doing that with everything. You start doing it with race and gender and class and fucking every little bit of, you know, cross-sectional society. What do they call it?
Critical race theory.
Intersectionalism, which is part of critical race theory. You're both right. So yeah, and they teach this in our schools, and what they're teaching kids to do these days isn't to think, isn't to produce, isn't to, like, have their own identity and you know, unique perspective available to a bigger project in a workable way. They teach them how to be activists. They teach them how to get together and, you know, protest and affect change. But it's like Jordan Peterson says, you know, like, until you get your own house in order, don't try to go out in the world and make anybody else do it, you know? Because if you don't have your own house in order, how are you going to put the world in order? And the answer is you're not. You're just going to make it worse.
Hell, when you actually go, okay, then what do you want? How do you want it fixed? They don't know what they want to do. They don't.
Well, and that's the thing about the progressive movement in general, is that whenever they get something, right, they're like, we really want this thing, whatever it is, you know, whether it's, you know, abortion up to 2 weeks after birth or something, you know, like some crazy shit like that. They'll get that. They'll get it in law in an area, and they'll be like, yay, we won. Okay, now we have to go a step further. Now we have to go a step further. It's always a step further. They're never arrived at the place where things are good, and they never will.
To a point that's good, and to a point is bad. Because there's always something that could be better, but at the same time, yeah, I agree.
Well, it's kind of like this conversation is going on. Like, think about our country as like one big brain, right? And
Yeah.
the brain is kind of in this area of chaos and an area of order, right? And you can kind of think of that as like the chaos being kind of more like liberal, Democrat leaning, like people, and the order being more like right brain, you know, right leaning Republican, whatever, right? And they're kind of having this conversation going on. And the left side is just beating the right and the fucking to death right now. Like, there is no order. It's just chaos.
Well, I think that's kind of the point they're trying to do anyway. And that's the one issue I've always had with like people like groups like BLM or Antifa or whatever the case be, because they provide next to nothing, and they're just like, oh, give me this, give me that, and it's like, dude, if you really want to affect real change, go directly by the U.S. Constitution. Have an actual redress of grievances in this country.
Well, and here's the problem with the Constitution, though, is because they've walked all over it. Like, left, right, up, down. Like, you can go through it. Like, freedom of speech, out. Freedom to own guns that you want to own and assemble in a peaceable way with those guns, out. You got, I mean, go down the list, dude. What's the Third Amendment? I can't remember the Third Amendment right now.
I believe it's about quartering soldiers in a time of peace or something.
I'm not doing that shit, but they're not trying to make us.
Let me
So
just read it real quick. Yeah, no soldier shall in any time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in a time of war, but in the manner of to be prescribed by law.
Yep.
And
then the fourth is search and seizure. Yeah.
Yeah, which that's out. Beyond that, like search and seizure, like if you're driving down the road and they suspect you of being like a drug dealer or something and you have money, they take it. You have your car, they take it. They sell it, they keep the money. Forget what that's called. It's
asset forfeiture.
Yeah, asset forfeiture. Civil asset forfeiture.
Well, the problem with all that was, and it's the same thing with the Fourth Amendment of legal search and seizure, they got away with that with probable cause crap, and that was all due to the Supreme Court being like, oh yeah, you have probable cause to do this now, instead of just being like, no, you cannot violate constitutional rights, no, you don't have the right to go search people's stuff without their consent, etc., etc. And it's like the same thing with them not taking up 2A cases right now. Like, we actually have a case that is Second Amendment case that should be on Supreme Court's docket right now that would basically ban the NFA, the 1968 Gun Control Act, and the Hughes Amendment in one shot, and actually have our freedoms be restored entirely, but they refuse to take up that case.
Well, they only take like 1% of cases that are like brought to them, something like that.
Well, the thing is, when you look at the Supreme Court of how it was originally created, it was supposed to be them taking up every single case that came past their docket.
Exactly.
The problem is, and this is what they should be doing, they should be taking up that one with the NFA and stuff like that, using that as case law, and being like, no, this is all unconstitutional, we're going to go away with this, and then it's any case that brings up after that, it becomes a thing where it's like, hey, does this change what our ruling was previously? No, it does not. Okay, it's still unconstitutional.
See, and the fact that they're not doing that actively and that they haven't, they've been avoiding it for years, throws into question the legitimacy of the entire justice system in this country, right? Because if it's not equally applied, if it's not blind, if it's not written down in clear fucking ways that a normal person can understand, then it shouldn't be valid. And the fact that a lot of these laws are allowed to be valid in spite of that fact, and the fact that these cases are trying to be brought, you know, how long does it take to get a case before the Supreme Court? It takes, you have to go through all of the other courts, and it takes, you know, like lawyer money up the ass. Like, you got to have money to do that.
Yeah, it's something like 5 years to a decade or something along those lines. And
so,
I mean, even just look at red flag laws. They are unconstitutional because they break the First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, Eighth, 10th, and 14th Amendments, but yet the one in Connecticut still exists since after Columbine.
Yeah, like, how are you supposed to prove a red flag law if you have the Fifth Amendment?
Well, it's not, because it's just total self-incrimination at that point.
Right, but I mean, that's the only way that they can prove it is if you're like, yeah, you're right, I was being crazy.
well, it's even like them just being like, hey, well, we're going to go ahead and let some random person, I don't care if it's family member, cop, whatever the case be like, hey, we're going to take this to a judge behind closed doors, not let you actually have the ability to look at your accuser and be like, this person's a lying piece of shit. And then just keep going. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, knock, knock, we got a red flag law on you. Got to take your guns now.
I like this. Let's keep going through the amendments. What's the Sixth Amendment? I like how you both have your books ready.
All criminal prosecutions, the accused,
fair trial,
right to fair trial, speedy trial.
So yeah, that's out because I mean, look at Rittenhouse in that situation. Is he getting a fair trial?
Well, I mean, his thing was he was vilified by the media before.
Right.
This is the real issue. It's we no longer have innocent until proven guilty. It's all guilty until proven innocent, and it's ridiculous.
Which is not a fair trial. So that one's out.
And I think they're actually going to try to use Kyle as a way to attack constitutional rights right now. I mean, they're already trying to do it. Look at Feinstein trying to put through the '94 assault weapons ban again, which that was not constitutional to begin with.
Dude, well, they're going for broke right now. They're throwing Hail Marys into the end zone, but the thing is, they're not really that long of a throw from where they are in the field. If you follow the analogy, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the entire end game is an oligarchy. It always has been.
And that's what we're living in right now. And I think people are starting to wake up to it. And that's why shows like the Gay Frog Chat, where we talk about this kind of stuff, are becoming, I wouldn't say I'm popular, but like, you know, like that's what brought interest to this channel in the first place, was talking about this kind of stuff, because more and more people are waking up to it. I mean, we're in the gun community, right? And like, that's what we primarily talk about, is like, oh, this cool thing. And like, check out what I bought. And hey, like, how much is that? And oh, they're passing a law. Let's fucking do something, you know, like that kind of stuff. But there was always kind of this niche within that that's been growing, I think, that talks about these underlying fucking big government, like conspiratorial type thinking to understand actually what's going on programs that have been run underneath our nose for years. People are waking up to that. And I think like the better job that I can do and that we can do on like doing chats like this, which is, I'm sorry to say, Derpy, why I got a little bit upset with you earlier. I'm not really upset with you. I'm just saying, like, this isn't the Saturday night drunk chat. This is the, like, what the fuck's going on with the world chat. And I want to actually talk about stuff serious a little bit, you know, and we can have fun. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, I forget where I was going. But
gun rights and whatnot.
Yep. So that was number 7. What's number 8?
Rights in civil cases. In suits.
Yeah, excessive bail.
Yeah.
What is it specifically, though? I'm sorry. Rights in civil cases.
7th is rights in civil cases. 8th is excessive bail and fines and stuff like that.
Oh, well, that's fucking out. That's fucking way out, dude. Excessive bails and fines. Like, try getting a speeding ticket, and then you get another speeding ticket and go to court. And they're like, well, you've already had a speeding ticket.
I don't know if you pay attention to what's going on in Florida since after what happened there in Parkland and all the red flag crap they pushed through there. You have people having to defend themselves in court because, technically speaking, red flag legislation does not actually consider to be a criminal matter, and you do not get provided free lawyers or any kind of public defender.
Dude, I almost got red flagged. Like, I won't tell the whole story here, but long story short, I had to talk on the telephone with a investigator and basically prove to him with information that I just happened to have on hand that what he was saying was ridiculous and that it wasn't true. And then they dropped it right then. But if I didn't have, you know, that information on hand and wasn't able to like elaborate that to him over the phone right then, they might have knocked on my door. And if they knocked on my door, you know, like next step. And then pretty soon I'm in court fighting over this shit without a lawyer, like you're saying. And I give money to the RMGO, the Rocky Mountain Gun Organization, because they specifically are fighting against red flag laws in Colorado, where I'm at. But is there a national organization, I wonder, that's fighting against this? Because really there can't be, because it's a local thing that happens, right?
I would say the closest two that we have right now would be Gunners of America and Firearms Policy Coalition. Because those people actually care about just not having our rights restricted upon. Any kind of local one that you can find, depending on who's running it, is actually good. Because we have one here in Ohio called Ohio Gunners, and this Chris Dorr guy that's running it, it's his family. They should all, like, because they're in about 4 or 5 different states here. It's like Ohio, I think Virginia is one of them, and a couple other different states there. And they should probably all be brought up on racketeering charges, because they're definitely running a racketeering scam. But that was actually the reason that I got into everything in 2019 here. I actually co-founded a two-way sanctuary movement called Ohio Patriot Network. And we were actually, we had probably 10,000 people on our Facebook page at one point. they tried to completely delete the Facebook page the other day, and then like 2 days later they just reinstated it suddenly, and I'm like, what is going on here? They're clearly screwing with us.
See, and that's another way that they're hitting everybody. That it's done two things, right? It's taken people out who have a voice, who people want to hear that they don't like, right? Because not taking them out, like taking them out, but it's silenced them. It's taken off of like the main places that people go to get their information, i.e., YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And now you're not able to hear what that person has to say unless you actually go out of your way, and the likelihood of you doing that is very low. Like if you look at the statistics, if you are not on one of those mainstream platforms, you lose like 95% of your audience, something like that, right? So you're gone, right? And then the other thing that they do is they silence people who are still on those mainstream platforms from saying the things that they would say otherwise, because you self-censor yourself because you don't want to get kicked off of the main thing, right? And, call it guilty of doing that. Yes, I am. I find a way to like talk around the things and not actually say the thing that will, but you still say the thing that you want to say. But you have to be careful, and like the more of that goes on, the further down the line that goes, like the harder it becomes to actually have a conversation, even with people who agree with you. And then I think about like what happened in Soviet Russia. What was it? Like 1 out of 3 people in Soviet Russia was a spy for the government.
Probably.
Meaning if you lived, like mom, dad, and 4 kids, out of that family of 6 people, 2 of them are spies for the government. Statistically speaking, like that's where we're headed, except for they don't need that. They have Facebook, YouTube, Google to spy on you with your phone and your computer and whatever you do, and everyone you talk to is like categorized and itemized, and if you're ever a problem, they pull that information up and they know more about you than you know about yourself.
Well, it's like I was telling you and Matt about last week after the chat about my federal swatting back in August of 2019, and it was just something I said. It was something I said as a what-if scenario, and you had like 3-4 days later 2 feds knocking on my door and being like, well, you might be guilty of these crimes and blah blah blah. Sat there and talked to me for 40-45 minutes and left my house telling me we wasted 6 days on this.
It's not my fault you wasted your fucking time.
Deprivation of rights under color of law should be a felony in all 50 states because of that, but it's only a misdemeanor in every state.
All right, what are we on? Number 9? We did number 8, right?
Yeah.
Number 9.
9 is...
Remember that song? It was a Beatles song.
Nothing can be denied under despair. Just I forget exactly what the actual phrasing here is. Basically, anything not anything protected under the Constitution is basically protected by the people.
Right. That's the one where it's like if you write a law that is contrary to the laws in the Constitution, it's null and void. Is that one?
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, these red flag laws and things like that under this constitutional fucking amendment should make those laws null and void. But here we are. All right, what's number 10?
States' rights. Power not delegated by the United States Constitution, not prohibited by it to the states, or reserved by the states, respectively, or to the people.
Oh, so that's how they get around number 9. They twist number 10 to fuck number 9 from behind.
A little bit. You ever heard of Marbury versus Madison? I think it was either 1803 or 1805. It was 1807. I'm thinking about it.
No, I don't know. What's that?
Basically, it says anything that it was like basically a couple of our founding fathers that had issues with each other, and it essentially was anything done that is unconstitutional, and any law written after that case was settled should be looked at as it was never written. So any of these red flag laws, any of these unconstitutional acts that Feinstein, Pelosi, etc. are trying to push right now should just be looked at and be like, that doesn't exist. Go fuck yourself.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I guess the way that they get around that from the 9th to the 10th is saying like, well, it's states' rights and it's a power that we're not allowed to have, that if the state chooses it can have.
Well, it specifically says at the end of that, or to the people. So it actually is us choosing our own rights, essentially.
And I guess when it comes down to it, if a state is doing something by itself that's that bad, you could always be like, well, I'm moving to a different state. But then if it's every state,
Well, I think that's what we're coming to, is that fracturing, that balkanization, whatever you want to call it, where you basically have two Americas. It's like that one free America that's like 23, 24 states, and the other half is like, oh, we're going to be under a totalitarian regime of Biden or Harris or whoever the hell is in power at the time.
well, that's what they were afraid about with Trump, was like he was just going to be like, I declare myself monarch, like, I don't know. Do you remember in history class learning about that period of time where there were three different popes at one time? Because there was a fractionization over who wanted to be pope and who got elected. And then there was like the Chateau de Pape in France, and there was like the Vatican, and I think England had their own version of the pope too.
I don't think I ever did learn about that, but then again, I ended up dropping out after sophomore year and getting a GED, so.
And that's where you get Chateau de Pape wine.
Yeah, it's in that Crusade show. They kind of play off of that. And guess what the result was? A bunch of people died.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. How's it going, Duke?
Hey, not bad, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, did the chat by myself last night. I was like,
Oh,
no,
I'm sorry.
No one can come. I'll do it. I'll just do it myself.
Bingo.
It was actually nice, man. I like doing a solo chat every now and again.
Yeah, I get it.
Get a chance to actually like.
You didn't even invite me, so.
Well, I didn't invite anybody, so.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you were moving. I think I don't remember. I was busy fucking around.
Yeah,
No, not literally. I was literally running around town too. So.
Yeah, it's a fucking straight blizzard here, man.
Yeah, how you hanging in there, man? How's it going out there?
It's fine. The kids are at their mom's house. I didn't go pick them up. I'm gonna go pick them up tomorrow when the snow's done and they get the roads cleared up a little bit. Get out of the house then.
That's crazy. It's like 70 here. 70 degrees all last week. People trying to grill outside Michigan.
Yeah, we probably had like 30-ish inches so far.
Gosh, oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Dude, like honestly, if it was Texas, everyone would be going nuts, and people did go nuts a little bit actually, because like they got their predictions wrong about exactly when it was going to hit. They were saying it was going to hit on Saturday or on Friday, sorry. And so like I worked Friday night, and it was like slow as fuck because everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to start snowing," and then it didn't start, and they were like, "Well, it's going to start at 2 a.m." Right? And I'm like, "Okay, I'll wake up with snow." Go to bed. I wake up in the morning, still no snow, like nothing. It was raining. It wasn't even snowing at that point. And then, yeah, it didn't start till like later on. So anyway, it's not a big deal, man. Honestly, I got the RAV4. It's got all-wheel drive, and they plow the roads. It's not like they don't have the equipment to do it. Like Colorado's set up for this shit. Just hunker down for a day. I got a bunch of corned beef. I'm going to make some corned beef and cabbage tomorrow. Actually, they were fucking out of cabbage, so I'm making corned beef and Brussels sprouts because it's close enough.
No. That's
Yeah, there's difference.
no. That is just no. That's not even the same.
I know it's not the same, but it kind of tastes similar.
No.
They look like mini cabbages. They have the same texture. You cook them, they have the same flavor.
No, they don't.
Well, you can say that, but I disagree.
Again, I went to culinary school. I've tried both corned beef. I love corned beef and cabbage, and I don't mind Brussels sprouts.
Well, it was either that or red cabbage, because that was the only cabbage that they had left. They were sold out of cabbage. Savage says, Savage dropped in $5. Thanks, man. It says, yeah, Honda did a chat by himself and then ended before I had a chance to tune in and encourage shenanigans. I was like an hour and a half, man. It wasn't short. It wasn't like 3-hour fucking solo chat. I don't know. Not Iron Man. But Yeah, what amendment are we on now?
11.
What's the 11th Amendment?
Lawsuits against state.
Yeah, judicial power of the United States shall not be constructed to extend or to any suit in law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens or subjects of any foreign state. So basically, I can't, as an Ohioan, sue somebody in Colorado or the state of Colorado.
Fun fact, it was actually proposed on March 4th, 1794 and ratified February 7th of 95.
I don't know. I wish we could just go back to the original, like, constitutional amendments and Bill of Rights.
Yes and no. There were some that I'm like, no. But we can get rid of those.
It'd be a lot better than what we have right now.
I feel like the first 10, well, not quite the first 10, but like about half of the original Bill of Rights would be a good start for an internet Bill of Rights.
Which I've been arguing that we need left and right lately, because it feels like they're just taking rights away from people on the internet and, you know, gathering people's data, whether you want them to or not, and selling it and doing all this shady shit that they do. I forget who said it. It's like, if it's free, then you are the product.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true, dude. Like, all those like cool little apps on your phone. Oh, just download this and now you can play fucking video games all you want while you're waiting for the bus. Yeah, but it also has access to your GPS, to your microphone, to your contacts, to your photos, to your actual camera, right? So it can do all kinds of shit that it wants to do. And they can use that information for all kinds of stuff that right now seems to be sell you a bunk bed when you've been looking at bunk beds, and then the ad pops up. But in a very, very easily conceivable near future, could be used to program the Terminators to find out whose houses to come to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, have you guys seen those fucking the dogs with the machine guns on them?
That's just creepy.
Yes.
All that stuff is just creepy.
The Boston Dynamic or something like that robots. Yeah.
Dude, that shit's fucking
They're
terrible.
badass. They're badass, but they're scary.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
I mean, the thing is, when you look at, I don't know if you ever heard of the singularity, where it's basically you have humans here, and eventually you'll have robots get up to here and then surpass us. That's what we're heading to right now. We're heading to humanity taking itself out because of the fact that we are stupid enough to basically embrace so much technology that we are allowing technology to overtake us as a human race.
Well, I mean, Google is the AI. If there's an AI right now that
I can see that becoming Skynet in like 10 seconds.
That they're developing and that's going to become self-aware and suddenly be like, yeah, I'm tired of your fucking cat videos, you know? Yeah, I could totally see Google doing that. And then they've got like their DARPA dogs and their smart bombs and everything else that they can do. Like, it's fucking Skynet, dude.
Well, it's just like robots. They'd be like, oh, well, we don't need this oxygen that, you know, takes away our outer coating and stuff like that and rusts it out. We're just going to take all the oxygen from the atmosphere, and then there goes humanity.
Dude, what are the odds that, like, that's happened on a different star somewhere, a different planet, you know, far, far away, that, like, some human-like entities came up and, like, developed a society and then eventually had robots who then became smarter than them and then killed off all the people and got rid of the oxygen, and now they're, like, traveling out through space and we're going to encounter them at some point?
The robots?
What if that's already happened?
The robots. The robot. Will they be robot aliens? Really?
You mean Battlestar Galactica? Is that what you mean? Because that's what I mean when I say that. No, but it has happened, man. It's probably already happened. What about Iraq and Babylon, where they're finding computers in like the ancient ruins and stuff? What if it's already happened before?
Dude, I don't know what to think about that shit. You know,
there's no way that that's not real.
I mean, I don't say that that's alien tech. I don't know if you ever heard the theory that we've been actually not just the U.S. government, but like all governments around this earth have basically been visited by like 11 different alien species.
Yeah, old boy was talking
I've heard
about
that multiple times, and it's very interesting.
Because like half of them are good, half of them are bad. And I think we have actually had like past presidents have sit downs with like alien races, and that's why they're trying to do all this UFO disclosure now. And they're like, hey, by the way, some dude walks out in like human form and then just yanks off his human meat suit, and it's just like some 10-foot alien guy.
I don't know, man. Don't you think Trump would have fucking said something by now?
I mean, to be
Maybe.
fair, like,
Unless
Even
he's
the-
an alien too. Maybe
even
he's
the
like,
JFK files are supposed to be totally unredacted under him, and they still haven't been.
well, and he tried to get that done, and they were like, yeah, okay. And then he also had the UFO disclosure thing put into the COVID relief bill that they passed before he left office. That's supposed to come out in like what, another 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, like I think it's end of May, early June, something like that.
So we'll see what comes of that. I don't think anything, honestly. It's either going to be like everything important is redacted, or they're just going to have one of those huge, massive, giant data dumps that is impossible to sort through and is not categorized or cataloged or indexed or anything like that. That
Man,
pulling the information out of it's going to be nearly impossible.
Yeah, because
I don't
it's, like,
think people
basic
could handle
technology.
that. People couldn't handle the fact if they came out and said, like, came out flat and said, "Yo, there's some aliens." People couldn't handle that at all.
A lot of people couldn't. There would be quite a bit that would be like, "Oh, okay, this is we were right. What the fuck?
No,
Hell yeah!"
you couldn't sleep at night if you found out that there was aliens out there trying to, like, with the intention to come and eat you.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
You would not. You would
I
go
don't think
crazy.
they're going to say that though. Like,
Yeah.
even if that's like what they're intending to do is like harvest people and like how to cook for humans, like for humans, that fucking thing. Remember?
Yeah.
It's
Like they're not going to tell us.
I
yeah,
actually have a
more than
counterpoint to
likely.
all of it.
More than likely, they'd be like, "Yeah, we Roswell happened, yada yada yada, and yeah, we have aliens." And a lot of people would be like, "Okay, cool. We kind of thought that. Okay, cool."
I actually
There'd
have
be a
counterpoint
lot
to
that would
everybody
freak the
freaking
fuck out,
though.
though.
I have a counterpoint to everybody freaking out. What if they actually, let's say June, July, all of a sudden had some watch that allows you to teleport to anywhere on this part of the continent that you want? Like, let's say I'm in Ohio, I want to teleport to Colorado, and I can do it. And they
I
give
don't
that
know, man. I
ability.
always thought about so like everyone watches Star Trek, I'm sure. What if when they beam you up, right? What they're doing is they're like tearing apart your body to the molecular level. Like each molecule of your body is being torn apart, turned into energy, and then recombined in a new place. Like that's how it works in Star Trek. What if it just means they kill the fuck out of you and just make a like perfect copy of you, and it's like your consciousness is gone, and now there's like a new consciousness that was exactly the same as yours and no one can tell apart, but every time you get beamed up you're just dead.
Possible.
I've always thought that, like, how would you know if, like, as long as the copy is perfect? Yeah, I don't know.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah, so Captain Kirk has died like 500 times. Like, plus, wouldn't there be some like cumulative damage? Like, the more times you do it, the more times your body's been like broken apart and recombined, the more mistakes that are potentially there, and then you have like weird fucking transporter cancer.
I would think it'd be more scars, whether it be facial or body scars or something, probably.
I don't know. All right, what are we on? Number 11?
12.
Yeah.
Election of presidents and vice president.
Okay, elaborate. I don't know what that means.
The electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for president and vice president, one of whom at least shall not be an incumbent of the same state with themselves. They shall name in their ballots the person voted for as president, and in the district ballots the person voted for as vice president, etc., etc.
So they don't do that anymore.
Well, the thing is, when we originally voted for senators, it was supposed to just be, hey, these are just supposed to be here in the state that they're representing. It wasn't supposed to be they're supposed to go to Congress. In Washington, D.C., it was like, hey, you're here in this state, figuring out what we need to do at state level, fix it here.
I don't know. It's like the other thing that's weird about it too is like this the whole way that our government was originally set up was like for a time when the fastest way to get a message from like Boston to, Georgia or wherever was a horse at a point,
Yeah.
And now you can just send an email and instantly like fucking do a live chat from across the country. Like they need to update the way that our government works and economize it for the way that we can use technology,
Honestly, I would rather have something like this than be like, hey, now you got to move to DC, and now you're gonna sit in a room full of fucking people. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Ohio, we actually had an entire month where our state legislature wasn't doing nothing on the state rep side because they were trying to update everything for how they could vote again. And then they're like, oh, we installed iPads here, or whatever the case be. And it's like, dude, you could have easily done some kind of Zoom meeting for various subcommittees and then just had that stuff go to like 4 votes once a week or something.
Well, and then my point, I always go back to this too. Like, the government has like the opposite of the Midas touch, right? Like Midas, when he touches things, he picks up the salt shaker. Now it's like salt falling, like golden salt, like that kind of shit. The government, everything they touch turns to fucking shit. Like, and I point to the school districts in Denver, right? In Denver metro area. Yeah. Got a whole shit ton of money because of the weed laws that we passed, right? They got like, I don't know, it was like billions of dollars or something. It was a lot of money. And what have they been doing with that money? Well, one thing is they bought all of the kids in every school district an iPad. Every single kid got an iPad. And within a year, they were like, well, this iPad thing really isn't working. The kids aren't learning how to type, blah, blah, blah. So they took all the iPads back and they gave them all like those little laptop things, what do you call them? That aren't really a laptop?
MacBooks or whatever.
I don't know.
I know what you're talking about. It's like email and you can do a couple of things with it.
Yeah, and you can type on it and go online. And it works basically like a laptop, but it doesn't have the memory and the processing power and all that shit. So they went to those. And then like with the schools themselves, there were perfectly good schools that had been there for, 30, 40 years. Maybe it's getting a little dated and old. Mm-hmm. Bulldoze them to the ground and build a brand new school right next door. Like they bulldozed the whole school and built a new school in the parking lot of the old school that was no bigger than the old school that they just bulldozed because they had money to do it. And just like they're throwing money fucking away, dude. Like honestly, they're just throwing money away.
Well, it's like the same thing with any school district. Where I went to high school here in this town, they ended up having to do away with our old school because of the fact that it was so outdated. It had asbestos everywhere and everything else like that. And then they ended up building a new school, and we voted, rightfully so, for a levy to be like, hey, this is what you need to fund the school. You don't need any more after that. And they were like, okay, cool, we're good with that. They did that. Within like 2 years, they're like, oh, by the way, now we need more money in an upkeep levy because we didn't actually budget for this shit.
Dick goes and you said if the federal government was put in charge of the Sahara Desert, there'd be a sand shortage within 5 years. It's fucking true, dude.
It's like the same thing with everything with government. I don't know if I mentioned it last week or not with our knife laws here in Ohio, finally updated after like 60 years. I was talking to my neighbor down the street about what is happening, and he was discussing, he's like, isn't it great when government just doesn't restrict people's freedoms anymore? Because there's a company it's the other side of Ohio here, that actually said as soon as this goes into place and we can actually have decent knife laws in the state, they're going to be able to expand their manufacturing like threefold.
Well, and the other thing it does, it encourages bad behavior. Like, look at the whole COVID thing, right? And look at what happened in New York with the mayor being like, oh, let's put all of the people in the old folks' homes, and then the old people are going to get sick and pass away, and our numbers are going to look better so that we get more money from the federal government because of how many people are dying, right?
Well, it wasn't just Cuomo. DeWine did it here in Ohio. He did the same thing. It was actually our ex-health director who was not voted in. She was an elected position, or she should have been an elected position. She was actually a position that the governor gave her as health director. Her name is Amy Acton. she's trying to run for the Senate seat that Rob Portman's going up here in 2022. And really, she should be in federal prison for decades of her life for mass murder.
We had the same
thing here in Ohio.
We had the same thing in Pennsylvania with Governor Wolf and Rachel Levine.
Mm-hmm. Same thing happened in Michigan with Whitmer. Gavin Newsom did it in California. Kate Brown did it in Oregon. Jay Inslee did it in Washington State. There's at least 7 to 8 sitting governors right now that should be looking at crimes against humanity, but none of them are.
Yeah, dude, I don't even know what to do. Like, it's almost bulldoze the school time and build a new school right next to it, I guess. Like, maybe some of those schools were that bad, but I feel like our government has gotten that it's got termites and the piping's rotted out and the wiring might catch on fire. Like, it's got all kinds of problems.
The real problem, I think, is that we need a 28th Amendment into the U.S. Constitution that specifically states term limits, automatic disqualifications, age limits. Because that would do with a lot.
I think we should amend whatever constitutional thing it is where it's like, oh, you have to be 35 to be the president. It should be like, and you can't be older than, give us a fucking number that makes sense. Yeah. You know? That's all.
Or at least if it's like, let's say 75 would be the end game or whatever. Be like, you can still do it over 75. You just have to get a cognitive test or something to make sure you're all there.
No, I say like 70 should be the oldest that you could possibly be and starting a term in office. Like, once you're over 70, you can't run. And if you're 70 years old, that's like the last time you can. And if you are older than 70 when your shit begins, then yeah, like maybe. But you know, if you say maybe, they're gonna use that as, well, they said maybe, so we get to do it. Give us an inch, we'll take a mile. Like, no, which is why I say no. Like, fucking no exceptions.
Well, it's just like the same thing. If you ever look at any of the state bills that are being passed in any of these states, they always have things at the end where it's like, and to make an appropriation or some other BS like that, which a lot of those appropriation things are actually money that they want to fund whatever program it is. But a lot of the other ones, it's just them being like, or an emergency or something like that. And it's like, you just want to seize power. That's all it is. And that's the thing with Ohio right now. Ohio is only one of 3 states right now where the governor has absolute say when our emergency powers end. And of course, dickhead DeWine a couple days ago was like, oh, it's going to be months now before Ohio gets back to the thing because we need to have 50 or less cases a day being new cases, even though he's been falsifying numbers from the beginning.
Yeah, well, and that was the other thing that I was going to say about like what the hospitals did was they were encouraged to do the same thing because the hospital would get more money every time that they pronounced someone dead as of having COVID. And so the state benefits, but also the hospital benefits. So every time someone comes in with a motorcycle accident and they've been in a coma for a week, or, you know, like suicide guy who didn't die right away, you know, test him for COVID.
Well, I think the big thing about DeWine is if you look at his actual thing in office, he's been in various positions of power since 1976, since like a decade before I was alive. And he has made so many inroads and so many different things in this state where he is definitely misusing his position for personal gain right now. And that alone should get him power for misdemeanor charges. Because he has a bunch of different stake in all these companies that are making the vaccines and everything else like that. And of course, he's like, oh, got to shoot up everybody with the stuff now.
Dude, I was looking at a thing online, like the total number of people in Colorado who've received at least one dose of the vaccine is like 1.6 million. I was like, holy, because there's only like 7 or 8 million people in Colorado. So you're already at like, you know, coming up on 25%.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking people who got stuck with a needle and said, yes, I will take an experimental fucking non-vaccine vaccine that never had a long-term study done on it ever, and just hope it works out. Hope that, you know, these big drug companies that are coming up with these things left and right that seem to have them in their back pocket ready to fucking draw like a fucking concealed carry weapon as soon as this thing popped out, you know? Mm-hmm. It takes a lot longer than a couple of months to come up, develop, and test and implement a vaccine. Like, that traditionally has never happened. And they're like, well, the technology's come so far. Well, you're doing a new experimental way to do it. And I know that people have gotten mad at me for talking about this before, but I am not going to get this fucking vaccine, and I don't care.
I won't.
Either are my kids.
I'm 36 years old. I've been a cancer survivor for 5 years now. my colon cancer was. I've actually had nurse practitioners tell me to my face, whatever drugs you were on or something else that happened to you is what directly caused your colon cancer. Why would I ever allow vaccine damage from something else to be like, hey, I'm going to take more vaccine damage stuff? As it is, I have to get another colonoscopy at the end of this month now.
Well, I mean, I don't know enough to talk intelligently about these things specifically, but they're messing with your fucking DNA. You know, take it to like a low level of understanding, low resolution fucking way of talking about it. They're messing with your DNA, and they've been doing it with our food. They've been doing it with like all kinds of different. Like I was looking at the effects of the GMO crops on microbiology. And it basically kills off everything in the soil except for a few things that can survive. And then those things propagate like a motherfucker. And then you get these like internal stock fungus in the corn crop and stuff like that, that ends up in the food, that ends up in your stomach, that's causing all kinds of weird problems with people. Like they're connecting it to lupus and like weird fucking autoimmune problems that people are having where like your skin feels itchy or you feel like you have something crawling across you. That's because of these GMOs that they've come out with and affecting the genome of the planet.
Well, there's a lot of people who aren't technically medical doctors who have talked about it for years now, and they've even said your gut health is the best thing you can have right now. You protect the gut health, and you're going to stay healthy forever. My uncle actually does a cleanse. It is a mix of, I believe it's vinegar and honey or something. He drinks it every single day. He has never had the flu, never had any kind of issues like that, sick-wise, for over 20 years now.
So, I mean, I've been doing that ever since I got into fitness. Like, I do a green supplement every day. And, like, I was a person that used to get sick every single year, like, multiple times a year. And, like, now I might get a slight cough here or there or, like, a slight sniffle occasionally, if that. So, like, yeah, it's a lot of this stuff with COVID and everything. Now, granted, not everyone. Obviously, there are people that are at risk, but there's a lot of people that if you just took general care of yourself, you have nothing to worry about.
Well, the thing is, I've been hearing a lot lately about obesity being a big issue too, and I'm an overweight guy for sure. I need to lose a lot of weight.
I don't know, man. I'm like, I never got tested to see if I actually on paper caught it, but I caught it twice, dude. I fucking know I did. 2 different times. I caught it the first strain that first came around, and then I caught it again from my ex through my kids, like months later. And both times it wasn't fun, but I at no point was like, I need a ventilator. Hopefully they come out with a vaccine because I'm scared. Like, no, that never happened.
Yo, well, I'm telling you right now, they're going to look at that ventilator stuff. They actually found, I'm reading some stuff that they're showing that putting people on ventilators is what killed them.
Well, there was that one nurse that came out about that, and she even said she was like, "Hey, we're taking care of this guy in the day, and then at night they put him on a vent and killed him."
Yeah, it's the vents that killed people, is what I've been reading on a bunch of stuff, because that's not the practice now. And look at the survivability of it.
How does that work though? How does it kill you?
It blows out your lungs essentially.
Right, because your lungs are weak at that point, or weakened at that point. And instead of giving them time to heal, they think that they need to overdo it and put you on a ventilator, let it breathe for you.
So it's like over pumping your lungs for their ability to expand while you're on the COVID.
Correct. And that was their answer in the beginning. Oh, put them on a ventilator. Put them on a ventilator. Then as soon as that stopped being the practice, things changed.
Honestly, a lot of doctors have said unless you are very serious, they will not. They wouldn't. They did not. They were like, no, we are not putting people on ventilators unless it's like life or death.
Well, I don't work at a hospital. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but
yeah,
I've been around someone who had to be put on a ventilator, and it wasn't until they were like basically at death's door that happened. You know?
Yeah, it scars your fucking throat and shit and all that, And it's just really bad for you actually to be on a ventilator. It's really bad.
Yeah, but I get that. But that was the standard practice. The standard practice was, what were they calling about? What were all the meetings about in the beginning? Was how many vents they could get.
Yeah,
What
how
was
many
Cuomo-
ventilators? And then you had all those companies that were like you saw the stuff like GM's building ventilators
Yes.
and like.
Yes, that was the big push. The big push was all the ventilators. And I'm telling you, once this all comes out, because right now it's still in the infancy stages. We're still in year one. And
well, there was that dude who invented, or whatever you want to call it. He 3D printed a little bracket that turned one ventilator into like 4. You know,
right.
Like that should have been like, okay, problem solved. Right there. But whatever.
I mean, I've only ever known one person on a ventilator, and he was like a burn victim. And granted, I mean, he lived for years on a ventilator. Actually, was like it actually helped him become pretty powerful until his son got him into some shady shit and got him killed. But yeah.
Sounds like a movie. Like he got superpowers from the fucking ventilator, and then his son got into shady shit and it got him killed.
He did have a very forceful way about him.
And then Batman had to talk to him, and he had that mask on.
No.
He was like,
this guy got electrocuted.
You became accustomed to the darkness. I was bored of it.
Mr. Freeze.
Uh-oh. Matt talked for a quarter second and dropped out.
That's why I'm surprised in like the last decade that we've had all that stuff with Fukushima that we haven't gotten some kind of superpowers or at this point or something.
I don't know what you're talking about. I had 6 wisdom teeth. So speak for yourself, human.
You had 6 wisdom teeth?
Sure did. All of them out at once like a champ.
Now we know that Duke's actually the alien hybrid.
Yeah, the orthodontist or this oral surgeon was like, "You're a freak. You're a Neanderthal." So,
what happened was one of the aliens got drunk one night and was like, "What happens if I add a couple extra teeth to a human's head?"
nano.
I get my last one pulled the other day.
I had all 4 of mine pulled out when I was still 15 years old. All of my wisdom teeth were all the way in, good enough to pull out.
Yeah, I think I was 15 as well. It was just, I was like, let's do it all. Why come back? Let's do everything right now.
And when they pulled out one of them, like my bottom right wisdom tooth had like this hook fucking root in it that hooked around the nerve that went to the front of my face and snapped it, right? So for like 6 months, like the Novocaine wore off, but I never got feeling back on the like under my lip on the right side. Like I could like flick my face and I wouldn't feel anything. It was like 6 months, and then I would sit there. I'd be like doing homework and like flicking my face. It was weird. Like it was just like this habit that I had because I couldn't feel it. And then it started tickling. Like I'd flick my face and it would tickle. And then I'd want to scratch it, and that would just tickle. And then it just tickled all the time, and I couldn't do anything about it. And then eventually it was like, okay, it's normal. So I forget what they call it, neuroplasticity. I have very good neuroplasticity. 6 wisdom teeth. I only had 3. Damien Christ. What's up, Matt? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
If I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know how long this is going to last.
What are you running off like McDonald's Wi-Fi or?
It's like a 1994 internet, I think. I literally, when I run a speed test, it says 0 upload speed.
Where are you?
So I shouldn't technically be able to even talk to you right now. It was working good in Discord earlier. Me and Honda were talking, but
Where
the live
are you?
chats at home. I'm having more internet problems like I did when we
Oh.
first moved into this fucking place. Couldn't even do a show today. Probably won't be able to do a show tomorrow because they're not even sending anybody out till Tuesday.
Dude,
Fucking fix whatever's wrong with it.
sounds good enough. I mean, it's slightly robot-y, but it's not terrible.
Hopefully it's not bad, but certainly can't do any streams of my own.
Well, maybe we should do a Honda fucking Monday night stream then, and you can come on my show again. It'll be fun.
We'll see. Maybe.
We'll see.
Oh, by the way, Duke, have you watched Walking Dead yet?
I have not. I have been busy doing man things. I was
Best Gabriel and Aaron episode ever.
nice. I will look forward to watching it. It's better than what was
There's
last week.
hope.
Can you?
Oh yes, it's definitely better than last week.
Can you fill me in as to where the story is now that everyone that I cared about is dead?
10.5 years into the future.
Well, because okay, let me tell you where I left off. We're at the prison and there's 6 zombies barfing on everybody.
Oh my gosh.
All right, go.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That's season 3? Or no, is that's 4? The beginning of 4, right? When they got
Okay,
the sick?
so the prison gets taken over. Everybody runs. They meet back up, finally. They find a community. It's doing all right. Negan and his homeboys show up, trash the place.
Oh, I guess
They fight Negan.
that's where I gave up is Negan.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
they fight Negan. They win.
'Cause
Carl dies.
Because it was the part where they were in the Winnebago when that bitch was like pregnant and they had to see the doctor in the other town.
Yeah.
Oh, so you ended the end of season 5? Or is it
6?
5, 6, okay.
And like no matter where they went, there was more of those people like fucking like whistling at them.
Yep.
Yeah.
End
And
of
it was
season 6.
ridiculous. Like you can't have that many people in a zombie apocalypse working together. It just mathematically you're going to get eaten down to the point where you don't have enough people to pull off that kind of operation and still feed everybody at your camp and take care
They
of
go into all of that. How the Saviors can handle an operation that big. That's all covered in the next season.
Well,
Yep,
I just thought it was ridiculous, and there was no way to explain that to me at the time.
Yeah,
And I was like, that's where I dropped off.
totally probable. The whole
Although
rest of it.
there's that scene where the dude gets the rocket launcher out and shoots the guys on the motorcycle.
Oh, that's great. That's a great scene.
Yeah.
Do you know who Do It With Dan is?
That sounds really familiar.
He does.
I've heard that.
He used to do motorcycle videos. Now he does like, I guess he still does a little bit, but he does like build videos and like, I don't know, car videos and shit like that. He was one of the people on one of the motorcycles who got blowed up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, with the RPG.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. Anywho, so yeah, what do you think about the robot space aliens that already took over one civilization and they're spreading out through space and they're going to find us pretty soon, Matt?
I mean, sounds dope.
Yeah.
Is Derpy saying something? I see his mouth moving,
I don't
but
know.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I think he is himself.
Derpy concerns me.
Yeah.
Every time he's on a chat, I'm concerned that this is going to be the last chat that I'll ever have because like there'll just be some like swing and pull going by all of a sudden. Like he goes off camera and he's comes back on and there's no pants on and like Jesus Christ.
He's talking. He
I'm
doesn't
just
know
telling
we
you,
can
like
hear him.
what I'm afraid of when you're on the chats there, Derp.
You think we still can't hear him?
He's
Yeah.
got himself muted or something. I don't know.
I know, yes. I have myself muted. I was yelling at myself of why the fuck was I going to grab my purse? And then I was like, oh, that's why, because I was wanting to brush my fucking hair.
Hmm.
Now it's somewhat dry.
Hmm.
Somewhat.
Oh my god. So yeah, I don't know. I can't watch the fucking zombie show anymore. They need to start a new one. They need to go back to season 1 and make it just as good, if not better, than they made the original season 1. And, like, it doesn't need to start off as a cop. Maybe it should start off as, like, some dude who does YouTube live chats and has a bunch of guns behind him. And the zombies start attacking, and he's got to grab his kids and, like, kick his zombie ex down to the floor and, like, save the kids. And then you fucking, like, go down to Texas and meet up with your other YouTube buddy, right?
Mhm.
And then we fucking set up some sort of camp and like defend everybody. And then like the only problem is there's not quite enough ammo.
That's a problem. That's a big problem.
I mean, it writes itself, doesn't it?
It went from like, oh, this hypothetical to just you.
So okay, so who plays you? Who
I mean-
who plays Honda in this Walking Dead universe?
I'm thinking like either like
The
Brad
guy
Pitt-
from Die Hard, Ellis from Die Hard.
No, oh man,
He's still alive, isn't he?
no, I'm
I'm
thinking
your
like
white knight.
Keanu Reeves, maybe like he could play Honda. Like, so he's got somebody cool. Keanu Reeves. Who else? I don't know. I like Keanu Reeves for his part. Oh,
I
what's
feel
that
like
one
Honda.
guy?
I
Who's
feel
the guy
like
in
Honda doesn't
2012?
fit.
Who's the guy in 2012 who drives the limo?
Oh,
John
John
Cusack?
Cusack.
Yes, John Cusack
Yeah.
can play Honda.
I can kind
Because
of
he's
see
like,
that.
he's more than just he's more than just good looks and fighting. You know what I mean? He's got
And
some
then-
more to him.
And then Matt gets played by what was the dude's name from Transporter?
Yo,
Jason Statham.
Jason. Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I mean, you're both bald. It works.
Okay.
This hypothetical is actually getting pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. Trying to think who Angry gets played by. Angry gets played by John Malkovich. Yeah, John Malkovich is Angry.
Oh, you're definitely getting played by Rob Riggle.
Rob
Yeah.
Riggle. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. It'd be good times. It'd be a great show. Michigan
mean-
dudes just coming straight up down, joining the camp, making
Jonah
it real
Hill.
cool.
Jonah Hill is Night Strike.
like super bad Jonah Hill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be like super bad Jonah Hill.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Well, then who's playing me? Like, I just don't know.
you get to play yourself. You get to just play yourself.
Who's,
What?
Who's Simon from The Walking Dead?
Oh, Stephen Ogg.
Yeah.
That's actually not a
Yep.
bad choice.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Stephen Ogg, I think is his last name.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
GG. I think.
2 G's.
Oh,
yeah.
actually, that is pretty good. Yeah, but you got better hair. You got way better hair than that dude.
This guy?
Yeah, I mean that's
Oh
more
my
Matt.
gosh.
Matt's attitude is way more like that dude. He's actually a super good. He lost Negan. He wanted to be Negan, and he was
He
so
was
good
good.
at his audition that they created Simon, who wasn't
Yeah.
in the comics. And this guy was, in my opinion, he was almost better than Negan was.
He was more like Negan in the comics.
Yeah,
What Jeffrey Dean Morgan did was almost kind of. I mean, there's definitely streaks of the comic book Negan in there, but he kind of put his own spin on it.
yes. Like in the way he manipulated people and talked to them, and whoever the guy at Hilltop, like that whole stuff was really good. This guy was a real good actor.
Yeah.
All right. This dude, he can play me.
Jason Momoa?
Oh,
Really?
God.
No. I actually, I think the one next to it. What is
Yeah.
his name? From
Zach.
fucking High School Musical would be a better one.
Oh, Zac Efron.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's not Honda.
I can see
Nah.
Honda.
John Cusack is definitely playing Honda.
Yeah.
Although he's
Because it
done
has to
pretty
be like.
badly the last 10 years.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Dude,
Let's kill ourselves some zombies.
I just finished True Detective, and I think that him and Woody Harrelson are two of the greatest actors of our time. That was a great show. Matthew McConaughey deserves every bit of respect he gets for being an actor.
If you're gonna say
Y'all-
Ryan, then
First
no.
File says, y'all seen Matthew McConaughey running for Texas governor? Really?
Possibly.
He's probably running as a Democrat, though, isn't he? No, he wouldn't, though. He's fucking... I've, heard him talk. I don't think he would espouse, crazy leftist views anyway, even if he was a Democrat. I'd vote for
Probably run third
McConaughey.
party.
Ashton Kutcher as Honda.
Yo.
Not terrible.
No, here we go. Sean Connery.
Yo, is that a heavy? Yo.
Oh, here's Derpy.
Yo.
What?
Stop.
What? Fuck you.
That's Derby.
Fuck you. I don't have that shitty fucking
Yo,
beard.
that is so
Come
That
on.
person's, like trying to
Yo.
be Simba in The Lion King.
Yo, that is so derpy right now.
He does. No. I look way better than him.
No, that's exactly who you get to play you.
I look way better than that fucker.
No, here's Matt.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you get Woody Harrelson. I think Woody Harrelson or this dude, Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. See, that's who I wanted to play me, but you guys shot that
No.
down right away.
Yeah, no.
We don't got that kind of money. We don't got Brad Pitt
Yeah.
money. Okay.
Yeah.
We got John Cusack money. We got whoever that guy's playing Derpy money. But we ain't got Brad Pitt money. Okay. I don't know where you got that. Me as the producer gonna.
Wait.
Robin Williams, not Robin Williams. Wow.
Robin
Wow.
Williams?
Wow. Hey, it works for it. Hey. We got Robin Williams money. We just dig that bitch up.
Who would Will Smith play?
Hold on.
What's his name? Every. Oh God.
Tony.
Ray.
Tony Simon. Tony Simon.
Yeah. Ray.
Right
This is
there.
totally Ray.
Right
Ray.
there.
Yeah.
What?
Ray
Ray is Will Smith.
Yeah.
Ray is Will Smith.
It's the
What?
Will Smith story. Of course it is. 100%. Like it people won't even know the difference.
Oh my
He's
God.
so like, who is that? Is that Ray? Oh no, that's Will Smith, son. Pay attention. Look
Dude,
closely.
We gotta
honestly
make
think
this movie
Tony-
happen, man.
Tony would be.
We gotta
fucking
make it happen.
Oh, well, hold on. Tailgate Tiger just came up with the gold.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I can't
think
take
that
credit for that. It's too genius. I mean,
it's perfect.
bow down to the tiger.
There
Yeah.
actually has to be a scene though where we like sub in like halfway through the movie. We actually go and get what's her name with the blue dress, and
Monica
Monica
Lewinsky.
Lewinsky, and
We
she
have-
actually just takes over as Night Strike in the movie.
Night Strike, played by Monica Lewinsky.
And there's no explanation for it. It just happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It definitely has to be Rosie O'Donnell playing Night Strike.
Leonardo Vu says, I haven't gotten the flu shot since I was 10. 34 years old now. Haven't had a fever since.
Yeah, I will never prescribe that you should take a flu shot. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
I don't think that's like one thing led to the other, you know? That's just like you got a flu shot when you were 10 and you haven't had a fever in 24 years. I don't know, man. Maybe your body got damaged by the flu shot. And now you can't have a fever, in spite of the fact that sometimes you need to have a fever. I'm not sure. I don't know. Dude, I got all fucking crazy sidetracked on our movie idea. That went way further than I thought it would.
Well, you know, sometimes those are fun.
Is someone spamming the chat? Someone says someone's spamming out there. Is it freedom of speech?
Probably.
Top definition, racialism, understanding that a racial groups do exist, knowing that different races evolve under different circumstances, and so are different from one another, differing innate qualities. I think that's
Why?
pretty much accepted, except for when it comes to the most caloric taxing organ of the body, right? Because no one argues that when you're talking about like the NBA. And that's all I'll say. See, that's how we say things on this chat without actually, getting in trouble.
I am not with this person. I am just not. I'm over here like sunscreen. That's the only difference to me.
Well, and I think the main difference is the individual. Right? Like, you can't look at a group, you have to look at individuals. And when you start collating group statistics and assigning qualities to those things, you start down a dangerous path. And I disagree with doing that. But if you look at an individual and judge an individual based upon the merits that that individual seems to exhibit, then I think you come to a much closer to reality opinion about that individual, Because if a guy's going to be a dumbass dickhead, you can't say like, oh, everyone who looks like him is also a dumbass dickhead. And if someone's going to be really cool, you can't say like everyone who looks like this group of people is really cool, because that doesn't work. Like it's an individual basis.
Quality of
First
character.
and foremost.
It's all about quality of character, man.
Well, and it's funny though, because if you look at like not Jesse Jackson, Jesus Christ, Martin Luther King, the main thing that he said that resonated through time is judge not by the color of one's skin, but by the content of one's character.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And that is an individualist argument that I think is lost in this collective fucking society that we live in today.
I'm actually glad you brought up MLK. For about the last 6 months now, I've actually been writing a book series where both he and Bobby Kennedy survived their assassinations and became president and vice president respectively.
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude. Can you imagine a world where Bobby Kennedy was president and
he would be president, MLK would be VP, and then I think it's like the third book in the series would be MLK's presidency and whoever he chooses as vice presidency, and then everything going up until present day, and like the differences that could happen there.
It would have been that would be a good like video for alternate history. That would be fucking amazing. Do you know how you want to see true equality? That would be true equality right there. So beautiful. Good idea. I backed this.
And one of the things that I always think is kind of funny is how the leftist, super anti-racist people, those kinds, usually have secretly deep down, even if they're not aware of it, the most racist views of people that I've seen in modern day. Like the whole like you need like black people can't find an ID to vote with thing is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Or like black people can't figure out the internet thing that Biden was talking about. Remember that? That wasn't even that long ago.
No,
like he wasn't trying to be mean. He was just being honest. That's how he feels about it, and he's trying to help these people who can't help themselves. And it's like, is that racist? Yeah, probably. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that's more racist than anything I see from any other group, at least more overtly and more out in the open, and without even knowing that he should hide that. You know, that's how racist it is.
Well, I mean, to be fair, look at what Biden did in the 80s when he was a senator and did like direct quotes of people talking and dropping like N-bombs and stuff like that instead of just being like expletive.
AK Lover says, "Are you a racist?" I mean, there's probably some preconceptions that I have that through repetition have been kind of ingrained, but at no point would I like legislate or, you know, condone the use of violence against, or even, you know what I mean? Like nothing like that. Just like, maybe I don't want that table.
I feel like everyone has like preconditioned like prejudice is what I'd call it. And then of course like some of it can become like overtly racism and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, and Clint Torres gets it right here. It's like Malcolm X said, the black man has no greater enemy than the white liberal.
Although to be fair, wasn't he killed by his own people?
He was killed by the Muslim
like
something or other.
Islam, whatever it was.
Yeah. But they kill lots of people, so, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they do. Oh, did I forget a super chat? Fuck my life. I'm sorry. No, I read
We
that
saw
one.
that one.
Yeah.
Was there another one?
Oh.
No, we got that one.
Didn't
As far back as I can go.
Tyrannus? I think I bought 6 Emperor Tyrannus.
I mean, you're the one who's saying I missed your super chat, and that's the last super chat I got. And we talked about that one. That put us on the whole like track that we're on now. Actually,
I have new patches, and I'm super excited over them.
you have patches.
I ordered patches from Amazon. One's the no step on sneak, and the next one is the Tree of Liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of tyrants. And then the next one, 6 Emperor Tyrannus. And then, yeah. And then some other ones.
People always tend to get that Tree of Liberty one off because it's always the blood of tyrants and patriots.
Hey, you know what? It's true. There will be casualties, but ultimately, hopefully, we're freer. Just saying.
Well, it all depends on how long it would actually take for something to happen. Because if we're talking about something that's like 3-4 months long, that's a whole different story than something that's like 5 to 10 years long.
Patches. We don't need no stinking patches.
Hey, I love my patches.
Clint Torres says, as the country opens back up, remember to support single mothers. Frequent your local strip club.
Damn right.
I don't like giving money to strippers.
I don't know anyone that likes giving money to strippers. I'm sure they would rather get whatever for free, but
Oh, yeah.
I just thought of a better person for Honda than Cusack, Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
That actually wouldn't be a bad thing, especially if you had like a little beard going.
Yeah, I could see Vince Vaughn.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it.
Just grow a beard. Although, he's getting kind of old now. How old is Vince Vaughn?
Probably.
I don't know. You have Google up.
When
John Cusack right now.
when would this movie been done, or this show?
He's 10 years older than me.
They can de-age anyone these days a little bit though.
But
Yeah.
but I mean, like, what time frame would it be set
Wait, can
'Cause-
I request Will Ferrell? Would that be okay? Will Ferrell, the host of the Gay Frog Chat? That'd be awesome. Can you not love Vince Vaughn? Oh man,
Angry said for Jolly skinny Robert Patterson.
Yep. Or like Daniel Radcliffe, like thick, British accent because he's a redcoat. Scrawnier person.
Ooh,
Yeah, there's
just
some
bring the
spicy-
claws out.
there's
Yeah.
some spicy conversations going on in the chat there. We started down the talking about race thing for a minute, and whoa boy, opened up a can of worms. Oh geez. That's why, like, I don't know, man. It sucks in the society that we're in today that you can't just have conversations about things without being like labeled, and then someone thinks that based upon this one thing that you said that they know everything else about you, and they can categorize you and stamp you, and like it's really a lazy thing is what it is. It's not actually seeking understanding with anybody. It's seeking fucking like resolution as to what you can label them as and move on with life. And I don't like that. And again, I go back to there is no minority smaller than the individual. The individual is the ultimate minority of this country that the individual's rights are based around, and it should continue to be so. And we need to stop this move towards collectivism. We need to stop this move towards like communism basically is what it is, right? I mean, that's basically what they're pushing for, and
Well, I mean,
it's going to destroy
truthfully,
our country and destroy the things that our grandfathers and great grandfathers fought and died for.
truthfully, if you look at it legitimately, it's actually Marxism is at the top, and communism, socialism, and third wave feminism are all the offshoot children of it.
Shit. So Leonardo Vu says my super chat payment went through but didn't show on the chat.
Huh.
Just say it again. Just type it. And the next message you say, Leonardo, I will assume was your super chat, and I will do it. I didn't miss a super chat though. I promise. It was fucking YouTube. That's fucked up, dude. That's the first time that's ever happened. Has anyone seen that happen before? Captain Bastard Parr says, my last at E Honda 420 statement a minute or two ago. Let's find that real quick. Dude, I'm not seeing that either. Let's see, X Adam 1, there's that one, right? Captain Bastard Parr, there's this one. Is that guy spamming too much? Maybe. I don't know. There's some mods out there, aren't there? I guess I need to watch it on the YouTube side. Maybe I'm missing chats because of that. Yeah, I don't see it, dude. Dude, that guy was spamming the chat. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. Honda 420. I don't think there are inherent differences in behavior as I believe in human free will, but there are slight biological differences. Ultimately, we must allow individuals to find themselves. And I agree with that. And again, I go back to individual over collective, you know? But, sorry that took so fucking long to find. Jesus Christ. And then we'll go over here. X Adam 1. Or no, where was it? It was Leonardo Vu is the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen that one yet either.
I wonder if maybe YouTube deleted it off themselves.
Well, whatever, man. I tried. I don't know what to do. Fucking YouTube. Fucking shit up. Well, anyway, we've been going about an hour and a half. That's how long we normally go for the Gay Frog Chat. We kind of had a weird little end there where I don't know what was going on and having technological problems, but it happens, I suppose. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I hope you guys are having a great Sunday night. Hopefully no one in Colorado out here is snowed in too bad, but we'll see how bad the damage is tomorrow when I wake up. I guess I got to go out here and shovel for a minute here, so I'm not completely snowed in tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for showing up, guys. We'll see you maybe tomorrow night on my chat. I don't know. We'll see how Matt does it, or if we even do a chat tomorrow night for the Guns and Geeks podcast. But Matt's having some internet issues at the moment, so we'll get back to that when we can. But yeah, moving soon. Shit's crazy. Love you guys. Fucking deuces, y'all. Shall not pee in fridge. And I just want to say thank you to all the Hunan Muhammads for everything they do for Hank Strange. We know he truly, truly, truly appreciates that sweet, sweet sponsorship money that you help him bring in every week. And good night, everybody.
Throwing up gang signs over here. I was like, deuce, come on.
That was pretty smooth until I hit the wrong button at the very end. Anyway,
You're
peace
so
out,
wise,
guys.
man.
Could you